Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I am Sir Worldwide. And again, thank you for subscribing to this channel because I try to bring it like it is, like it's real. We're going to talk about sports here right now, right? Major League Baseball. My goodness, this year, 2020, December, they finally recognized the Negro Baseball League. I'm talking about Satchel Paige and Josh Gibson, all them bad boys. They finally got recognized this year. That's so sad that they did this to those gentlemen. They're not even around anymore. Their families here, you know. But on a level playing field. I'm gonna let this historian tell y'all about it because he knows about this history situation. Pay attention.
Hello, family. How you doing? And we're going to talk about the Major League recognition of the Negro League statistics today. Of course, they had already inducted Negro League ball players since 1971 with the advent of the induction of Leroy Satchel Paige, and then 72 Thunder and Lightning were inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's Josh Gibson and Buck Leonard. But we're going to start off by saying a tribute to our great friend, because I am originally from Chicago, the fine Negro Leaguer and Major League Hall of Famer Ernie Banks. Let's play two. We got to say that at the beginning. Now, the Negro National League started in 1920. The only real injustice of these statistics is in 1910, the Chicago Leland Giants, which later became the Chicago American Giants, had the best record in Major League history, or now it's Major League history, because they were the Negro Major Leagues. We always knew that, but now MLB is finally recognizing them as such statistically. The Chicago team that year went 123 wins and 6 losses. Let me say that one more time, because you probably thought it was something wrong technically. 123 wins and only 6 losses in 129 games. That's how great they were. And their best player was John Henry Pop Lloyd, who was the shortstop. And he was nicknamed the Shovel because of his great defense. He was also a speedster, but let me tell you this. The next year he played for the New York Lincolns in 1911. He hit an astounding, are you ready? 475 for the season. He almost hit 500 for the season. That means half the time he came up, he got a hit. This is amazing. No major league ever approached that. Unfortunately, those statistics won't be recognized because MLB is only doing it from 1920 through 1948. Now, our good brother, Andrew Rube Foster, left-handed pitcher, he's the one who was the father of the modern Negro National League. He started the league, and he was also a manager. The great manager from the New York Giants, John McGraw, used to come and watch his games to learn managing techniques. These are facts. You can research everything I'm about to tell you. These are all facts. 1920, you had great players like Oscar Charleston, arguably the best player ever. Speed, they called him the combination of Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb. That's how great he was. Speed, power, he could hit you 40 homers plus a year, 100-some RBIs, and steal you around 100 bases. The guy was unbelievable and had a rocket throwing arm. Cool Papa Bell, who was the fastest guy to go around the bases in 3.1 seconds per base. No one has done that quicker since, or not even the great Ricky Henderson or Jackie Robinson, track star. None of these people could run the bases as fast as Cool Papa Bell. He once said that Jesse Owens, the track star from the Olympics, beat him in a 100-yard dash, but he couldn't run around the bases as fast as Cool Papa. But nevertheless, we want to talk about the best teams of the Negro Leagues. That's obviously the 1931 Homestead Braves. They won, this is not a volume check, they won 37 games in a row. 37. The Yankees never did that in the major leagues. And they whooped the Yankees most of the times they played them. In fact, the Negro League teams used to barnstorm at the end of the year and would outdraw the World Series every year. And they won over 60-something% of those games, which means the Major League team only won 30-something% of the time. So that gives you an idea of the domination. And not only that, The best pitcher on that team was Smoking Joe Williams. He was the best pitcher ever, other than Leroy Satchel Paige. He was the second best pitcher ever to pitch. Is this my opinion? See, what you have to do, not only look at the stats, because a lot of these stats are incomplete, you also have to understand what the Major League ball players said at the time when these things were going on. The big train himself, Walter Johnson, with his Washington Senators, said Satchel Paige was the best. He said Josh Gibson was the best hitter he ever saw. He said Smokey Joe Williams was better than him. And not only that, St. Louis Cardinals won the World Series in 1931. Their ace pitcher, Lefty Grove, he said the same thing. Satch and Smokey Joe Williams were much better than he ever was. In 1934, Jerome Dizzy Dean won the World Series for the St. Louis Cardinals. He said, now this is going to be hard for you to believe, he said if he had Josh Gibson and Satchel Paige on his team, that they would win the pennant by the 4th of July, take the rest of the year off and go fishing until the World Series. That's how great he said they were. And of course, Josh hit the longest home run. I think it was in Omaha, Nebraska, in an exhibition game off Dizzy Dean that he ever saw. He said these things, so it's not my opinion. In addition to that, let me tell you a little bit about Josh. Josh played for the Pittsburgh Crawfords and the Homestead Graves, which played their games in Washington, D.C., Griffith Stadium, where the Washington Senators played. Griffin, who was the owner, he had a stadium where the left field line was 400 feet down the line. Now, that you don't see that today. Usually center field is 400 feet. It was 400 feet down the left field line. He said, and this is not my opinion, he said, Josh Gibson hit more home runs into the left field bleachers, 400 plus feet, every year than the entire American League. Yeah, no, I didn't stutter. The entire American League in MLB. Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and all your heroes, Josh hit more home runs into that area than any of them, period. And in fact, in the old Comiskey Park, not the modern Comiskey Park before they tore it down in 1990, it was 455 feet to, 445 to dead center, but that's because they moved the plate up 8 feet. Before, when Josh was playing, it was 8 feet back, so it was 453 to dead center, had about a 20-foot brick wall. Josh hit 2 home runs into the center field bleachers in the same game. This is how great Josh was. Not only that, he had a 363 batting average. Some records say it was only 353. Okay, fine, whichever one it was. But the point is, he had a 424 batting average against Major League pitching for his career. 424. So go run and tell Ty Cobb that. Speaking of Ty Cobb, when John Henry Pop Lloyd played exhibitions against him in Cuba back in the 1900s and the late 1900s and the 19-teens, Cobb got so frustrated because they would be tagging him out in rundowns, stuff he never experienced in the major leagues, he didn't even want to play against them anymore. And that 1931 team I told you who won them 37 games in a row, yeah, the Homestead Graves, later in that decade, they won 9 pennants in a row. Yankees never won 9 pennants in a row, and they won 5 World Series in a row. Now, the Yankees won 5 World Series in a row, but they never won 9 pennants in a row. And remember, that team dominated the Yankees in exhibition play. Who else do we want to say? Leroy Satchel Paige. He was the best pitcher ever. He holds the record right now. Curry Wood and Roger Clemens twice struck out 20 players in a game. Well, Leroy Satchel Paige struck out 21 players in a game, and they were Major League All-Stars. The last hitter in the 9th inning with the tying and winning run on base, Josh Gibson hit a 2-run homer, and they won the game 2-1. He struck out Lou Gehrig with 3 pitches. He dominated Gehrig. Joe DiMaggio in 1936, who only struck out 17 times a year and 600 at-bats, he struck him out with regularity in exhibition games before he joined the Yankees in 1936. He got his first hit off Satchel Paige before he joined the Yankees. And what did he quote in the paper saying? I guess I'm ready for the major leagues. I finally got a hit off Satchel Paige. This is how great Satchel is. He struck out Ted Williams looking. How many people struck out Ted Williams, threw a fastball by him, and he didn't even see it? How many people have done that? Come on now. And then he's dominated Mickey Mantle, all the best players. But the important thing is, all of them said Josh Gibson was the best hitter they saw, or other than Oscar Charleston. I want to tell you about also Martin Diego, who was from Cuba, had a stronger throwing arm than Roberto Clemente in the outfield. Of course, Willie Mays had the strongest throwing arm in the history of the league. Even Joe DiMaggio said that. And I want to get, and Martin Diego played all 9 positions. When Big Johnny Mize, who hit 51 homers for the Pirates in 1949, played with the Cubs, played with the Yankees, played with all these people, he was playing in the Dominican in the in the summer league, the winter leagues, and he said Martin Diego was the best player I ever seen. He saw Mickey Mantle, Ted Williams, all the rest. Monty Irvin, who was a batting champion in the Negro Leagues, but he didn't do as well in the major leagues. Why? Because in World War II, he came back with war nerves, but he still was good enough to play with the Giants and the Cubs and so forth. He said people were in awe of Josh Gibson. Roy Campanella, who won 3 MVPs, 51, 53, and 55 with the Dodgers, he said he couldn't even carry Josh Gibson's jockstrap. I'm telling you the facts. Now, I want to say this real quick before I go. The best team ever. I'm going to give them to you by position. Left field, Oscar Charleston. Center field, Willie Mays. Right field, Hank Aaron. At third, we go with Judy Johnson. At short, of course, the shovel, John Henry Pop Lloyd, who is 475 in 1911. At second base would be Martin Diego, who could play all 9 positions. He hit 353, he'd hit 27 homers, and he still win 25 games and without only losing 10 with a 1-point-something ERA. People would say Babe Ruth did pitching and hitting. He only did that in the dead ball era. He couldn't do it in the live ball era. These are the points. And let me finish. Buck Leonard was the best first baseman ever. Josh Gibson behind the plate, the best catcher ever. And Leroy Satchel Paige, the best pitcher ever. Please research these guys. Let me say this real quick. Satchel Paige struck out Roger Hornsby, who had the 2nd highest batting average in Major League history, 5 times in one game.